For those of us who don't live in Philadelphia, that there was a bit of an antagonistic relationship between Mike and Jeff and the media sometimes. Did they at any point express displeasure with you and maybe want to leave?
Never. They're both good kids. They made long-term commitments to stay in Philadelphia, probably at a lower number. So we think the world of both those young men, and we wish them well.
Paul, how hard was this personally for you? You scouted these guys back in 2003. You didn't want to pull the trigger on drafting them. You signed into these long-term contracts. I mean, how difficult was these decisions?
Those are two hard phone calls to make. I think the world of both of them, and that's difficult. That's a hard part of the job, and that was tough.
Obviously, we'll have a new captain. How does this deal change the kind of leadership dynamic in that room?
Well, that's a good question. I haven't even thought of that really. We do have some guys, obviously, in our locker room that have been captains previous years with other teams, Danny Briere and Kimo and Chris Pronger, obviously. So, I haven't even broached the subject with Peter Laviolette or any of my staff. So that's a decision for another day.
How did Mike take that call?
Both Mike and Jeff were extremely upset, and it's a call that they, not only did it was tough for me to make, it was tough for them to receive, and I think we all, when you're around this business long enough, you get to know that it is a business, and hopefully everybody will move on. I think they're both good players in our league, and they'll go on to be productive players on their new teams, I'm sure.
It was obviously emotional for you.
It was very emotional. I think a lot of both of them, as I said, and with Mike, my conversation with Mike became very emotional.
It was not long ago that I think a lot of other teams in this league were looking enviously at the two cornerstones that you had in Jeff Carter and Mike Richards, and were very envious of the future that you had with them, and obviously that future has changed today. What was the underlying reason why you felt you had to make such bold moves at this point?
Well, I'm not sure if there is a reason. We've just, with the addition of, I don't know if you heard this, but we've reached an agreement with Ilya Bryzgalov today. So when we acquired the rights, the negotiating rights to Ilya, it kind of set a lot of wheels in motion in terms of how other teams looked at us. And a lot of options have come across through the phone lines over the last few days, and one thing leads to another. And I know, when you're moving players of the caliber of Mike and Jeff, they're huge. So this is a huge day for the Flyers. I think, as I said earlier, I like their team over the last few years, and today, after doing these deals, I like our team still. I just think we're different. That's all. We're a little bit bigger on the wing. We've added a young centerman in Braden Shen that we think the world of. The emergence of Claude Giroux is kind of, I don't want to say, put us in a position to maybe do something with either Mike or Jeff, but he has emerged as a good, very good young player in our league.
Is this they talk about hockey trades. Would you consider this to be a
I think
hockey trade first and foremost?
Absolutely. I think they're both hockey trades. Jeff that's a good addition for Columbus, and I think Mike Richards going to Los Angeles gives them a real good chance to compete in their conference now.
For Mike going to Los Angeles, do you think that market, that change, could help him fulfill some potential that maybe he didn't fulfill in Philly?
I don't think he's not fulfilled his potential here. I mean, he's a good player of good standing in our league. He's one of the most competitive, solid two-way guys there is going, and that's to be able to shake Braden Shen loose from that team, you gotta talk about stuff like that. So I think they're good deals. I think Columbus made a good deal. I think Los Angeles made a good deal, and I think we made good deals.
And some people saw the Bryzgalov thing as sort of Mr. Snyder being the catalyst for that. Is it safe to say that you took this opportunity to ownership?
I don't know that that's That's true. I mean, we've tried over the last few years to a different approach, if you will, where we spend a lot of our money on other positions, and we've, as an organization, have made a decision to go a different direction at this time, and Ilya is the guy.
But was ownership the catalyst for saying we need to make these major changes today?
I'm lying to say Mr. Schneider's not involved. I mean, he owns the team. He's going to be involved. So, but, you know, the way, if I said, let's stick to our guns, I believe he would have said, go ahead, stick to your guns. So, you know, we made a decision to go the route we went, and culminating with what we did today.
Is there anything with the culture of the room that needed to be changed at all?
No,
or
that's really blown out of proportion. You know, Mike and Jeff are both solid citizens, along with being great players. So, no, I think that's really blown out of proportion. You know, I think we made 2 good hockey trades today. That, you know, when you look at trades, you think you want both teams to do well, and I think all 3 teams involved in these deals are going to do well.
You in particular, in this organization, have never shied away from making big moves, like big blockbuster moves like this one. I mean, you know, is it one where you have to kind of swallow hard before you make this kind of a move? Because
I was swallowing real hard about 3 in the morning last night when I was thinking about this. So, yeah, it's these are you know, they're good people, or you talk about it, and you know, you talk about it's a business, but it's really a game for those guys. And they both make commitments to being part of the Flyers organization for a long time. So and they work with us, we work with them. It makes it hard.
When did you find? I'm sorry. When did you decide? Was it last night or was it this morning when you kind of woke up and said?
Well, everything kind of came together and fell in place right before today.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk over the last few days with both Columbus and with Los Angeles.
And what time did you end up calling those guys?
I don't know. It was probably 11:45-ish.
Yeah.